Captain's Log, Guardian Chronicles, Supplemental, March 10th, 3309. V. Clara commanding. Welcome to the supplemental log for Guardian Chronicles 12, as I didn't have enough time to explain everything. Since I'm currently taking a break from flying around the ass end of space, namely, the region between the two battleground complexes, I thought I would recap a little and then explain a little more. And for those of you who have done your own work on this in the field, the GSC is encouraging you to leave a comment in the space below. Sharing is caring. So, here's a recap. Beta appears to be a unique representation of an elliptical orbit in a binary system, with what appear to be system mechanics and course corrections displayed throughout. The reason I say appear is because I'm not certain if the sundial is showing two different stars, or if it is the start and end point of a single star in a process. There are 5 equidistant struts on each side of this hexagon-shaped complex, which seem to line up with an opening on the smaller object at the bottom, which has 5 notches carved into it, almost like the gears of a clock. The larger object opposite has the same 5 notches, and both of them have 5 sides dictated by what appear to be outgoing wavelengths of something, separated by 5 spaces, both of which seem to increase or decrease in size or magnitude. The smaller object has what looks like small wake lines behind it, telling you which direction it is moving in and rotating. Rotating the object notch by notch against the struts of the wall exposes the open side of the smaller wheel in 3 separate places to the same energy the large wheel is exposed to, marked on the wall by 3 breaches. These 3 breaks tell you that the smaller object is exposed 3 times to the same energy as the larger object from the same star. And it suggests that the first exposure is just a reflection from the larger object. The strange graph that we see in the bottom right of the complex, more evident with night scopes, has the exact same shapes in the exact same dimensions as the bottom right corner of the gamma complex. The only difference is the symbols appear to be inverted. And of course, there's a triangle. But that second one that looks like a llama has really been a thorn in my side for some time. And the Cannon boys warned me, Clara, don't use your night scope so much, it can obscure things. I will likely never hear the end of this, but that is exactly what happened. One of my survey team sent me this perfect image, and I was easily able to match it to the central platform in the gamma complex. The thing I call the landing pad, because it seems like a small landing pad with a convenient ramp for your SRV. At least that's what I was using it for. One of our members also mentioned that Beta reminds them of the pyramids of Giza, and we think that the 2 pyramids here may actually line up with stellar constants, giving you a dial in the center to show you the angle at which you need to be measuring, but we are still analyzing. This also appears to be relative to gamma. Then, there are the light spectrums, 5 of them. So, there is a definite space where the light from the star reflects through what looks like a gap in a planet ring system. But then behind it, it appears that the light is broken into 5 different spectrums, leading us to believe that this may be a ring system of reflective ice particles that break the light apart through its prisms. Either that, or the rings are made of a crystalline substance. We are still trying to ascertain. This has also made me wonder if this is a diagram of their power process on a galactic scale. If you could be advanced enough to build a ring system out of the crystals you grow in order to, for lack of a better term, irrigate and direct the flow of certain energies coming from a star to the place where you could utilize them. This would also explain the strange light patterns we are finding on structures that do not match the descriptions of the light from the nanotech. If this is the case, then all of the structures could be powered by a singular light source being reflected from the rings of gas giants and the surfaces of icy worlds. It could also suggest that each structure gets its power from a nearby star system with a certain star type, making this a common process in Guardian construction and surveying, and also much less complicated than trying to use a single star to power your entire network. The top of the diagram seems to be telling us that the large object is attached to a star, and the rotation is dictated by 5 more notches across the top of the dial. These notches also coincide with the smaller notches on both of the other objects, and all three seem to be placed specifically in the second rotation, which appears to be directly before the double exposure to the second star that occurs according to the diagram. So this complex seems to be saying that every 5 rotations has one event that exposes both objects to the same energy, the smaller one 3 times, then starts over. If you had a mobile representation of this diagram, you would be able to move these dials notch by notch and line up the elements necessary to move you toward your next conclusion. Our impression of this is that it is up to the pilot to finish the equation or diagram, to take the next logical step to unlock whatever knowledge it's trying to tell you. And we are fully planning to keep at it until we find out what that is. So far, this concludes our observation of the ground features of the beta complex, as we have run out of time for this log. The technology, the markers, and the constantly moving ground plates will have to be addressed in a later report. We will continue to keep you posted on any progress we make. We will see you in our next report. This is Commander V. Clara, signing off. Kapla.